Listen, we are back. We are back. Make sure you like this video as you are coming in. Make sure you like it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What is up, y'all? It's your girl, Brand New, and honey, I am back in the building. Listen, this time, honey, I am back to talk about these comments, honey, from my last video, honey, of the real reason WANDA got fired. Absolutely. So without further ado, let's get off into it. So one person says that reunion was very calculated to embarrass and humiliate Melody. I lost all respect for Carlos King to allow all of the cast to attack one woman. Yeah, I told you that was nasty work. What Destiny did, trying to, embarrass Melody. Trying to break her down and put her in lowest terms. And people like Destiny will do that when they are threatened by you. They are intimidated. Okay? They don't like your confidence. I told you all, a lot of people do not like confidence. Some people say that they like it, but they really don't. Okay? There are some men, they don't like a woman that feels good about herself. Okay? They don't. They like desperate, insecure pick-me's. That's simply, what they like. Okay? That's what they like. So, yeah. I said it. Okay? And people don't like people like me, truth tellers, that just tell it like it is, get right to the point, don't miss a beat. Okay? They don't like it. When you're fake and phony, you're not going to like people like me and Melody that, we are able to see you for who you are. And honey, I can't unsee what I saw, okay? So another person says, allow, Carlos is the one who orchestrated it. He's been shady with Mel, been messy because she dismissed him, offering to be her manager. Mel declined to do his podcast tour with him. The rejection stung and his disdain started to grow. He is an inadequate, envious, hateful, messy, pretentious lowlife. Ooh, child, look, tell us how you really feel, okay? Another person says, I remember Mel said something about Carlos wanting to be her PR manager or something like that. Mel declined. Well, he wanted to control her. Whenever people try to align themselves, in your life, he was already her boss, on the show. So why do you need a extra layer to the relationship? Why do you need to add in a extra branch? So to me, that's suspect. But yeah, he wanted more reins. He wanted to control her. Okay? That's what it looked like. And remember how he used all those mellometers to start off his podcast tour and invited Melody there and, child, a mess. Carlos, we see you. Okay, we synced you, nigga. So another person says, WANDA got herself fired for trying to physically attack Mel. Yeah, and that's another thing. They want to fight when you are a truth teller. Okay, when you about your business. When you are ambitious. They want to fight. They want to argue. They want to create conflict. Okay? Shanita told Mel that Letitia was the ops. She was so right. Martell tried to say Mel loses friends. Ooh. Yeah, he was manipulative, when he said that. I was like, wait, he should have her back. Child, he ain't gonna have Melody's back. I told y'all I will always love that scene with Melody and Martell where they were doing the exercise to establish trust in the group and Melody fell to the motherfucking ground. She didn't even give Martell, okay, a chance to have her back, because she knows, you know, she's by herself. When you are with a narcissist, they're not going to have your back. It'll be just like what happened in that scene, Melody falling to the damn ground, because they don't want to help you. They want to be in competition with you. He was jealous of her. And then he wanted to have a side bitch create conflict with Melody and attack Melody. Okay? So, yeah. Just ain't no damn good. And that goes to show you right there, you could be with a nigga all them years and he don't have no loyalty. Always pay attention, ladies. If the man has loyalty to you, he will protect you. He will have your back. He not gonna have a side bitch, okay? He damn sure ain't gonna have you arguing with her. She will know to stay in her damn place. But that little Chihuahua honey was getting off that chain, off that leash, if she's ever been on one. Okay? Ariane would, you know, speak out of turn, put Martell on the phone. I would have been like, you ugly ass, ain't Esther ass, okay? I would have cussed her the out. Bitch, who you think you talking to? You old possum face heifer? Okay? Shit. You go fuck around and find out with Miss Robinson. So, yeah, Melody, you know, she was very nice and proper, you know, with dealing with them. But, yeah, I would have been waiting outside for Ariane like I was a security guard. What's that shit, bitch? Where that bitch stay at? What's that you said? Okay. Okay, I would have, tackled her ass down to the ground. Yeah, bitch, I am a linebacker. I'm a football player. I'm going to run this play on you. Okay? Another person says, Miss Brand New, you sound like my son. He cannot be bothered with school because school is a waste of time. I'm so happy he has 1 year left before graduating. Shout out to him. And, you know, I like, some aspects of school could be fun, like the creative part and putting presentations together, stuff like that. You know, anything that allows me to be creative, but I don't like taking notes. I remember when I was in college, I was in the back looking at magazines, honey, looking at the fashion, the hairstyles, looking at the celebrity gossip of it all. And my teacher came up and she was like, Brandy, we're discussing we're discussing some nursing protocol. Don't you want to take some notes? I was like, no, I see the book. I'll be taking the book home. Oh, child. But I did right, though, because I ended up just getting me a really good job working, you know, in the healthcare field. So I did good. And, you know, college, you know, and school and all of that, it's just not for everybody. Everybody learns differently. I got a little ADHD, honey. I do. Get to the damn point. Okay? Shit, I be having conversations with the peoples. And the people be like, girl, is you falling asleep? Yes. Y'all remember that episode where Tony was pregnant and she kept falling asleep while her friends was talking? That's Miss Robinson. And it got even worse when I got pregnant. Funny as hell. That shit was funny. Oh, another person says, Cassie cried victim when she found her space to turn it around. How she get a hold of that video? Set your ass the F up, Diddy. Yeah, I mean, you know, I stand by what I said, because what I said wasn't no bullshit, okay? I said what I said. And like I said, Cassie definitely was a victim of the abuse. And I get, you know, being in an abusive, toxic, volatile relationship. They say it normally takes a woman about 7 times before she leaves it, you know. I do understand all of that. But like I said before, Cassie wanted to be a star. And Cassie knew she wasn't. Okay, that video is circulating when she was on 106 in Park. The girl couldn't dance. Okay, it wasn't in her voice. Okay. She knew she couldn't sing. She knew she could not dance. Okay. And when a woman knows that, and people love saying, well, she was just 19. Listen, when I was 18, 19, there was still certain shit that I knew. And I also knew I could use this honey pot if I needed to get my foot in certain doors and certain situations. Do you see what I'm saying? The girls always know that. But everybody is insistent upon saying, oh, well, she was so young and how dare you and you're horrible. And it's just like, listen, look, I'm telling y'all the truth. I'm telling you how it is. This woman was not just this victim, because a real true victim would have left with nothing. The fact that you've tried to blackmail him, we'll say allegedly come out with the book. This is before you got the $20 million settlement, right? So when a person threatens to drop a book on their alleged abuser, then they come after you for the 20 million. Then they are testifying in this case. And then you sit on the stand and say, I don't hate him. And, I still have love for him and the time we had. If I were Diddy, I wouldn't feel loved. Shit, honey, look. Shit, Cassie, honey, then huffed and puffed. And she's trying to blow all of Diddy's houses down. So, do you see what I'm saying? That doesn't seem, like somebody that's this poor perpetual victim. This girl wanted to be in the music business. She also did a couple of films. She wasn't really, the best actress to me. And to me, she knew that. Okay, whether she spoke it out of her mouth or not, but Cassie knew she wasn't talented. That's why that video is circulating. Why you think Beyonce didn't participate in all this type of shit? Because she has real talent and she has beauty. Cassie, in my opinion, mainly had the beauty. Okay? What about Lauryn Hill? You didn't hear about Lauryn Hill back in the day doing all of this. She had the talent, she had the beauty, and she was a good actress. She was. Beyonce has did very well in the films that she's been in. Okay? So, Cassie was a different type of artist. She needed more help. Diddy knew that. And yes, he probably took advantage of her, probably he did, she's younger, right? I told y'all that's not right either, but we're not gonna sit up here and act as if this man is perfect. You knew he was fucked up. You knew how he treated Kim Porter. Then it came out in the case that she was allegedly jealous of Kim Porter. She probably thought she would get treated better due to her being racially ambiguous. She's not a black woman. A lot of them do think like that. Okay? They do. But she ended up getting the same treatment as Kim Porter. And I'm not buying this shit about Kim Porter being the love of his life, because he wouldn't have treated her bad. Okay? So, yeah, Diddy is a man about town. He is a man that has a pattern of abusive behavior. He was with the one girl, what's Justin's mother's name? Misa, Kim. He abused all those women. Did y'all hear the former security guards speaking out on that? Like, this man has did this stuff to all his women. We didn't really hear about him doing all of that to Young Miami, because Young Miami is a sister. Red Beans and Rice didn't miss her. She a city girl. City girl will unalive that ass. Look, nigga, while you sleep. Okay, so Cassie, and I'm not at all saying Cassie deserved, any of what Diddy did to her. That's not at all what I'm saying. Okay? She didn't deserve to be kicked around and, punched. And nobody deserves that, you guys. Nobody. But participant. There are some women out here, they're willing to put up with cheating, triangulating, abuse, disrespect. They're willing to put up with that. If I can get this music career off the ground, if I can get in these movies, she was with him for a reason. Well, you saying she didn't love him at all. What I'm saying is her love do cost a thing. Jennifer Lopez said love don't cost a thing, but shit. Cassie is the literal definition of fuck around and find out. Love do cost. Okay? So, like I said before, a real true victim, they're going to get away without money and without, And like I said, she getting her money and shit, and I'm sure she gonna need therapy, and, I'm sure a lot of this was traumatizing. I'm sure it was. And you gonna need to spend them millions. You are, but this wasn't worth it. All this stuff. Okay? So, and to avoid these type of situations, you have to have a lot of love and respect for yourself. Self-love. Okay? Self-love is something that can reverse all of this, and not trying to use people for a come up or, because a lot of people that want to be in the entertainment business, they will do some shit by any means necessary. And so you're sitting up there with your opinion saying what you wouldn't do. And I went through the same thing. Yeah, but you weren't willing to have all these freak offs. You had some standards, you had some boundaries about yourself. She didn't. Okay? She done got a new man out this situation, and it's a good job. Okay, she did a good job with taking him down, but this whole thing of just her being this poor perpetual victim, I can't get jiggy with it. Okay? A lot of people also mention, he didn't do all this stuff with Jennifer Lopez, but Jennifer Lopez was ambitious, and she started out as a fly girl, and Jennifer Lopez can act. She can't sing that well, and she, is allegedly a song stealer, okay? Look, stole a few of Ashanti's records, allegedly, child. Okay? But yeah, J-Lo is more of a, of a woman. Like, she ain't gonna allow nobody to treat her any kind of way, and she ain't about to be putting up with all of that. Do you see what I'm saying? Because she already had a career. She had a career. She had people in the business she could call. I think she was, doing some business with Murder Inc. and, doing songs with Ja Rule. That's before he fell out. Well, not fell out, but that goddamn 50 Cent just took his career and demolished it. Okay? A mess. And I never really liked 50 Cent like that. Like, don't get me wrong, I like his music, but I don't like his antics. And I actually was a big Ja Rule fan back in the day, honey. Okay? Ja Rule was that shit. What year was that? Was that 2000s, 99, 2000? Where would I be without you? I only think about you. What is it? Baby girl, put it on me. And then I like that song with, what is her name? Christina Milian. Every little thing that we do. I think it's called Between Me and You. Yeah, I love that song too, honey. Listen, I love that. That's my song. But yeah, that shit, Put It On Me, and, Between Me and You, that was my shit. I love When I Cry, You Cry, We Cry Together. Yes, that was my shit. That was when I tell you, I love me some Ja Rule. I loved him. I did. Y'all gotta admit, Ja was the shit, okay? But soon as 50 came around, his old stuttering and mumbling, soon as he came, everybody tried to act like Ja wasn't the shit no more. So, yeah. Now, let's shake a bone, honey, and get the hell on. Phaedra, y'all know, is back on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And she has a tagline. And it basically says, I return from the dead. Now, let's bury the past. No, bitch. We won't be burying the past. Okay? We go remember what you did, Phaedra. We go remember, girl. You and Porsha, y'all do some of the most demonic, diabolical, disrespectful shit to people. And then y'all just want people to just let it go. Okay? And I think my issue with Phaedra is she just really don't give nothing. We'll see. You know, we'll see. We'll give her a little chance on Real Housewives of Atlanta, honey. We ain't really got a choice, but we'll give her a little, you know, and give her a little chance. But without Apollo, Phaedra, you not cooking on nothing. Because just how Peter helped Cynthia, Apollo helped Phaedra. He even helped her ass on Married to Medicine. Quiet as kept. Shit, that's how you kept that damn job. You should be thanking Apollo. But y'all know Phaedra, honey. She thinks she better. She thinks she better than Apollo. That's why that lawyer married that criminal. Okay? That's why. Remember, Kim Zolciak says, how does an attorney get with a criminal? So she could be in charge. Phaedra give me that type. She will choose a man that don't make as much money as her, so she can be in charge. Okay, be in charge of the girls. And that nigga too. Phaedra wants power, control, and all that shit that Apollo said to Heavenly about Phaedra, like, oh, she was probably intimidated by them or felt like they was too much on her level. I do get that from Phaedra, like she wants to be the only girl, and she has that in common with Porsha. With Porsha. Oh, shout out to Evelyn Lozada. She had her baby daddy, what's his name? I was gonna call him Carlos, honey. Carl Crawford. Y'all know who discovered Meg the Stallion. Ooh, child. Carl is a mess. He was like, honey, karma came knocking on Meg's door. That's what he said. I'm paraphrasing, you know, with this whole Tory Lanez situation, and because he feels like she did him wrong. They talked about their co-parenting relationship. I really like that Evelyn and Carl are still really cool. Carl said his young baby mamas, they ain't cool. They always trying to hit him up with, you know, for money, and they always try to blast him on Twitter. But nigga, that's what you get. That's what you wanted to cheat on Evelyn with. So I don't feel bad for you. Okay, but I like Carl. Carl seems mature. Carl seems like he knows what he wants. Carl seems cool. He gives me, you know, a country boy, country family boy. He talked about how baseball was very conservative, but he was told that he would be the most likely to marry a reality star by his baseball family and stuff. Ain't that crazy? Okay. But yeah, I like him and Evelyn, you know, co-parenting relationship. I like it. They are, you know, doing a good job with little Leo. Don't talk about my daughter. Don't talk about Leo. Like, those are my kids. Like, Shani. Like, that damn Evelyn, honey, be into it. Listen. Okay, so we have Jalen Banks, the husband of Real Housewives of Atlanta alum Fallon Pina, believes his wife would have carried the show this season. Ooh, If you recall, fans were introduced to Fallon when she was married to Simon Guobadia. She was introduced as a friend of the show, specifically a friend of Porsha Williams. Soon after, Porsha and Simon began dating. It seemed like they didn't even date. They just got engaged while he was going through his split with Fallon. That is so disrespectful. It is. It's too close. Too close. So, honey, Porsha, girl, that's why none of us feel sorry for you. You couldn't even wait until the man got divorced. Do you believe Fallon and Porsha's storyline is what Bravo needs? Yep. And Fallon, you should come out swinging and ready to whoop ass. Not because you want Simon back, but just off the principality of everything. So, yeah, what y'all think of that? Should Fallon come back to the show? Okay, so let's shake a bone and get the hell on. We got Offset and Cardi B. Now, Offset, okay? Offset, his damn cheese then totally slid off his cracker. All that cheating he did on Cardi B, y'all know this fool wants some spousal support. Say, what now? That's like Melody and Martell. Okay, thinking that Melody should take care of the kids all by herself. She should do everything. What's wrong with these niggas? I told you, some of them niggas think that we are slaves. Cardi went off. She was emotional, honey. She says that she hopes that Offset will be unalive slow, honey. We'll say that after he allegedly files for spousal support amid the divorce. Another thing I have to say about this is Cardi is out here dating too fast. It's too much. You need to unpack this. I think that I'm happy that she's moved on. I am, I'm happy there is something about her that's, totally detaching away from Offset. And, you with this Stefan guy, he don't look like he too much better than Offset. I am happy you are moving on, but I want Cardi to heal and get her self-esteem intact. Because I think a lot of people, they feel like, oh, I'm making all this money, I'm making 6 figures. Cardi named in her live that, the children have a chauffeur, the children have after school activities. She's paying for the school. Offset doesn't buy Christmas presents. Girl, he's going to play games to get under your skin. Okay, that's what these niggas do. And with the amount of money you're making, I wouldn't give his ass no fucking energy. None. I would come after his ass for spousal support and all that damn cheating that he did during your marriage, putting your damn health at risk. Okay? But yeah, Cardi is a fool. Had 3 kids. You could have avoided all this. Had 3 kids by that nigga. Knew he wasn't no good before you married him. He was cheating. A lot of women be thinking that once they marry somebody that, that's going to change the man. It's not. Okay? He's going to feel like, I got you, bitch. And I'm really about to terrorize your ass and take your ass through there. Okay? But yeah, she was, oh, I pay for this, I pay for that. But you got low self-esteem. I can see it. You got low self-worth. You wouldn't keep, regardless of how much money you are making, you wouldn't keep making babies. This is what I'm telling y'all, how women got to do their work and take some accountability. You wouldn't keep having baby after baby with somebody. Okay? Listen to the whispers before you hear the screams. Okay? Life is always whispering at you. Okay? It whispers before it screams. The cheating, the lying, That was a whisper. That's before the children even got here. He whispered to you. Same thing with Cassie and Diddy. He whispered with the treatment of Kim Porter. And I'm sure you heard things and heard how he treated his staff. That was a whisper. The whole Kid Cudi situation. That was a whisper. How jealous and territorial he was. That was a whisper. Okay? And when you stay after, and I know too in my life, I'm not here to, be judgy, because I've had life whispered to me, and, I didn't listen a couple of times, But you have to listen to the whispers before you hear the screams. And Cardi didn't have to have all these children by this ain't shit nigga. Then you fighting the women, then you ending up with a record, just ignorant. And don't get me wrong, Cardi and Offset, very talented. Okay, they both make a lot of money, especially Cardi. She actually, hell, he was like popping, but she really made him pop just by attaching herself to him, marrying him. Okay, like Cardi was that girl. She was that girl. And he knew that. And he used her. Okay? He used her. And then we'll hear her cry about it. And then we'll say, oh, that's so bad how he treated her. But he whispered to her first before he came out screaming. Okay? And maybe the person may not be cheating on you, but they're whispering at you when they ignore your texts. They got your texts. When they ignore your calls. Okay? When they arrive late to come spend time with you, they're whispering. When they are taking your vulnerabilities to your enemies, they're whispering at you, and they're letting you know, I don't like you, I'm jealous, I'm threatened, I'm pathetic, I'm disgusting, you can't trust me. People are always whispering before they scream. Always. It's on us, you guys, to listen to the whispers before we hear the screams. Okay? Same thing with the Capricorn Clark lady. Diddy was whispering at her. And I'm wondering, if you made all that money with him, why you didn't buy real estate? Buy property, rent it out? You know what I'm saying? You being in contact with him and Suge Knight, I know that, that had you forming different relationships with people that could help you. Do you see what I'm saying? So this whole, I couldn't get a job nowhere. I have a autistic son, and so do a lot of people. But they'll go and start all the way over and work at McDonald's and Wendy's and KFC. And, they will shovel shit to feed their children and to make a life. Y'all don't have to put up with all this disrespect and abuse. Don Richards, he whispered when your ass was in Diddy Kane. Okay, when you were in Diddy Kane, Diddy was whispering, letting you know of his character. Okay, now you want to scream on the stand, and her testimony then went down the drain. Because they like, when they cross-examined her ass, they was like, no, you came back to work with this man. So how was he that terrible? Okay? And out of all of them, it's, Cassie's testimony is the biggest. But even with her, they was getting on her ass, You wanted something out of this. You wanted proximity to fame. Okay? You wanted access to the money. You wanted access to the money. You didn't just stay because you was in love. Y'all are in love with money, the lifestyle. And once you got a little drink, of that lifestyle, once you got a little taste, I should say, of that lifestyle, you didn't want to let it go. But nobody wants to be accountable for that and come out and tell the real truth. Look, let's have a real conversation. Nobody wants to talk about that. We'll just blame Diddy. He's a piece of shit. And he is. And he deserves to stay in there for the rest of his life. And he shouldn't be pardoned by Trump. But hell, Trump needs to be, put away too. Quiet as kept. But I believe that he will probably end up pardoning him. If he done helped out Kodak Black and Lil Wayne and these other people, he gonna help out Diddy. He'll find a way. So let's get back to Cardi. The fact that I'm waking up right now to see this effing and his effing ASS team. I know it's not his team. I know his bitch ASS go tell the Breakfast Club the only reason why this MF are asking for spousal support. Why you going off, sis? You could have got with your attorney quietly. Always move quietly, ladies. Niggas like Offset, they are narcissistic. They want your energy. And she's giving it to him. Okay? And I think he over there jealous. He didn't cheated on her all those times, but he probably jealous of this new relationship. Because he has an attitude of, yeah, I could cheat on you and, I can be seen with this one and that one. You better not do it. We know how some of these men move. They'll cheat on you like it's nothing. And they won't even consider it cheating. They'll just say, yeah, I'm a man. What you expect? Okay? But yeah, all this cussing and, going off, like crashing out and shit over a tired ass, raggedy ass, a motherfucker that came up off of you. And he already was in Migos and, they was making moves, but it was Cardi that really helped them and him. He knows it. And she do it too. That's why she's mad. But this is why you don't keep giving access to a man like this. You align with a man that's your equal. Offset was never Cardi's equal. He wasn't. Whenever a person has to use you, they're not your equal. It's always coming from a motherfucker beneath you that's not even as talented as you, that doesn't have the charisma that you have, So, yeah, but she crashing out and why she named that other baby Blossom? I don't like that name. Cardi even said she'll make it easy for him. He can, visit with the kids at her house. He ain't gotta see you acting like Malaysia. What's another one? Y'all make it way too easy for these men, and then they play in your face. And they only want to see the kids for 5 minutes. I wish a motherfucker would. We not doing that. You had your time, nigga, to be in these children's life. I wish these niggas would do that with me. Okay? You're not going to be playing in my face and my child's face. Yeah, I'm going to make it so easy for you. No, you had your chance and you chose to go the other motherfucking way. So keep going, nigga. Well, yeah, I want to know if me, you, and Chantel, this is my ex, I just want to know if we could sit down. Sit down. Where? I ain't sitting with you. I don't sit with your kind. Shit. Okay? Like Isaac Hayes, motherfucker, you better walk on by. I better not catch your ass. Better not catch your ass out in these streets. You better reconcile. Okay? But yeah, can we all sit down? No, nigga, I don't need help now. I needed it when she was 5 and 6. But you was saying you couldn't be bothered. You had other shit to do. You had another child to focus on that wasn't even yours. So, girl, bye. Have a nice day. Okay? Have a nice day. Cardi says Offset stood up her kids 3 times. Girl, why you keep letting him play with them children like that? Okay? He's whispering. Remember, he's showing you how he really feels. Now you over there screaming because you don't want to hear the whispers. He don't give a fuck about them like that. If he did, his behavior toward them, it wouldn't change because y'all are getting a divorce. Okay? He was cheating. He was never fully in the marriage faithful. But you expect all this good treatment while y'all going through the divorce. If he was a fuck shit ass nigga when you was with him, he's gonna be that while you going through the divorce. Okay? Just take everything that they do and times it by 2 when you break up with them and when you go through a divorce, basically. Okay? She says, I've been trying to save your face. Why you keep protecting this man that ain't protecting you? This is what I be telling you, ladies. You get mad at these men for how they do you. And you do it to yourself because you know they ain't no fucking good. But yeah, look at what it... Girl, save your emotions for your therapist. Because that's the only one that cares. Don't give these niggas your emotions. They don't care. Okay? Always give your vulnerabilities to people that care. But when you see that a motherfucker don't care, and you will know through the whispers, through their behavior. Behavior reflects intentions. You go see it. Okay? You go see the behavior. They go show you. All right, you guys, that's all I have to say about all of that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I am your girl, Brand New, and I will check you guys out in the next video.